some reason when I turn that camera on, it just, everything I want to talk about goes away. I don't get it. But hello everyone, welcome to Story Time with Ranger Katie May, where I thought I would tell you guys about some of the adventures I've been on, especially this last summer in Alaska. I thought I would talk about my flight experiences. Yep, that got in my ear. Oh, gross. Yeah. Gross. No, I'm not a big time flyer, but 2016 was a huge flying year for me. I've never really flown that much before until then, and then it just kind of seemed to take off, literally. Yeah, I just was taking off all the time, it felt like. I never really liked flying. It's just kind of something I did. I prefer to drive. I like to be in control. I'd much rather drive across the country than fly across the country, but it was kind of needed to get up to Alaska and then to get around in Katmai National Park and Preserve. It's only accessible by boat or plane. I was asked in the interview if I'd be able to be comfortable with flying in a small bush plane. I figured, yeah, why not? I don't remember being asked about Dunker training, but I probably did. Probably said that I could do it. And then when I got there and started training and, you're meeting everybody new, it's really hectic. It's really nerve-wracking, everyone's anxious, everyone's nervous, and then to find out that we're going to go and do ditching and dunker training, which pretty much is what they do to help you prepare in case of an accident. Like if you're flying in the small bush plane and it happens to crash into the water, how do you get out? And so that's what they do. They literally put you in a contraption where you're buckled in and you have a helmet on and that's plugged into, and then they push that in the water and you have to learn some steps about how to get out. I'm a survivor. My very first flight was to Switchback Bay to do a marine debris survey and a coast survey, which is a kind of a dead bird survey. Count trash, count dead birds. Getting into that small plane, it was fun, we had to put a flight suit on, and Park Service has you wear a safety vest, and then we put the helmets on, and Kelsey and I, my friend, were taking pictures, and it's all fun, and then we get in the back seat of this little plane, and we're just shoved in there, and I was nervous, to say the least. It wasn't too bad, thankfully. I was completely surprised at how easy that plane took off into the air. Like, the takeoff was so simple, like all of a sudden, boop, we were in the air. We were no longer touching the ground, and we were flying. And at first I was just completely overwhelmed with the beauty of the landscape, and I was taking pictures, and I really wasn't comprehending that I was in this small plane, and I was really trying not to think about it, and I was just enjoying it. The pilot was really cool. He was doing a great job of kind of explaining things to us about if we did hit any turbulence, it's because the land mass beneath is warmer and the air is rising and all this fun science stuff. So him explaining it definitely helped me, but I'm in the back seat, and Craig and my supervisor, the pilot and my supervisor, are in the front seat, and they hit turbulence, and they're like, whee! And meanwhile, I'm in the back, trying to grab hold of whatever I could. One of the really neat things about Katmai is there is the Aleutian Range right before you hit the coast, and we were trying to get to the coast. So you're going across the mainland, and then you have to climb up over the mountains to get to the coast. And at that point in time, there was really quite a cloud bank over the clouds, so we had to gain altitude. So all we were doing is we got in this big open area, and we were just going around and around and around to gain altitude, to find out if we could actually see over the mountains and go over. And we were able to, and that was really cool. And then we had to come back down. Landing in those small planes also really surprised me. We landed on the beach on the Pacific Ocean coast, which was super cool, like blew my mind. And again, landing, surprisingly, not bumpy, not crazy. I was a little worried about it. When you're landing the big planes, you're like, ah! It doesn't really happen on the smaller planes. It's super simple. to land. I really enjoyed that. I was, again, really surprised. Of course, I was very excited to get out of the plane and onto the ground after that point too. On the way back, again, takeoff off the beach, super easy. I was really surprised. We got over the mountains all right. I'm starting to feel a little sick, you know, not doing that great, so I'm kind of just sitting there with my eyes closed, opening it every now and then to enjoy the view. But we were flying over and we saw Brooks Camp down below, and that's where everyone comes to Katmai for. If you want to come to Katmai because you want to see the bears fishing along the falls, you go to Brooks Camp for that. And we were flying over it, and so I was like, oh, hey guys, everyone wave bye to Brooks Camp, and you know, Kelsey and I are like, bye, and all of a sudden the pilot dips the plane, because that's how he waves. But when he did that, I went, whoa, 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 whoa. Much to the enjoyment of all the other passengers. But yeah, definitely startled me. He now knows that he can't just do that. He has to warn me first. Basically, any of the adventures that I went on over the summer started out with Craig, the pilot, in either the small bush plane or the Beaver, which is the float plane that lands on the water, which again was like mind-blowing for me and super cool to do, and still made me not feel that great. I guess I'm not a flyer. So one thing the summer had taught me was I don't like to fly. I can do it. I can do it. That's what's important. I can do it. One of the flights, just a little story, was to Pathmine to help work on the remote automatic weather stations. And we just had so much gear, and the runway was just all rock. You know, it's just on this high alpine meadow. That was the runway. It was crazy, but the pilot couldn't take off because the runway was too small with both of us and how much stuff we are. So I went first, and we went over to a different runway spot, dropped me off and all my stuff, and then the pilot left. So that was a really interesting moment for me. I'm just kind of like sitting on my stuff like, doo-doo-doo. Hopefully no bears come, because you all know I'm scared of bears. So that was kind of interesting. He came back, then we had to unload everything, reload it, pack us all up, and then head out, which was definitely entertaining. Even though I did not feel okay when flying, I never got sick. There was only one time. One time when I asked for the bag, but I still didn't get sick. It was rather a rough flight. It was really overcast. The cloud bank was kind of low and patchy, and there was quite a bit of turbulence, and we couldn't get through the mountains in a normal pathway. The mountains were too enclosed in clouds. And by that time we had hit some rough turbulence and it wasn't looking good, so of course I'm getting even more nervous and more anxious, so now I'm really not feeling good, and I have to ask my friend in the back to hand me the Ziploc bag because I'm not feeling well. Alright, give me the Ziploc bag. Going through it mentally, like, I'm okay, you're fine. Breathing deeply, you know, I open the window air thing a little bit so I got air blowing on me, trying to keep me cool, and all of this is happening, and the pilot, it reaches over and hands me a map and says, see what drainage we're on right now. Literally hands me the map and he's like, open it, and I was like, okay. And then he takes it back from me, he's like, wait, you can't read that, that'll just make you more sick. And he opens it up, like, this huge map. He can't even see where he's flying now, which I realize is not a big of a deal as when you're driving. And I was like, no, Craig, give me that. I can read. Like, if I can focus on something else other than the fact that we are really high off the ground and I don't feel well, I'll be okay. Lo and behold, we had to go farther north, and we were able to get out to the coast and go on down and land. I did take a moment to breathe, and I somehow got myself out of the plane. And it took me a while standing on the ground to calm down, but I didn't get sick. We flew down to Aniakchak National Monument and Preserve, which is about an hour-and-a-half flight in a little plane. So it was a long flight, and by this time it was later in the summer, so I knew that I kind of wasn't doing that great with flying, so I was taking Dramamine, and that was helping a lot. Everything was okay, the flight went well. Landing was a little bumpy, and what we learned was even though it looked okay and everything was okay, even when he did the first landing, it still ended up being very soft sand. So the wheels actually sunk a little bit into the sand. So taking off was a little interesting. Now before I mentioned the takeoff, and why it was interesting and what happened, when landing out there, the pilots actually first coaxed over the landing spot to see what it looks like, and they check it out and see if there's any debris in the area where they think they're going to land or anything like that. And then we do another lap. In this lap, they gently just touch the wheels down and keep going. They don't actually land, they just test the dirt, test the ground. And then if everything's good and if the pilot still likes it, then he'll land the plane. So when you're not feeling good, that just takes forever. But I'm happy that they do that. Now the takeoff, we had to move sand away from the wheels so we could get a clear takeoff line for this flight out of Antioch, Czech. And we're taking off, and we're right next to the water. The tide has been coming in, and the water is right next to us. And then there's the soft sand, and we're just right in the middle of it. And we start taking off, and all of a sudden we dip hard right when we start to take off into the air. A really hard right. Like, I was like, oh no, there's water there. Like, oh no, ditching. Meanwhile, I think mostly everybody seemed to be okay about it, but I saw the person in the front seat give the pilot the stink eye, so I was like, okay, I know something weird just happened. That was not supposed to go like that. It was cool, it was kind of fun, but I'm too aware of what's going on and I know it's bad, so that makes me worried. We go over to the next bay to look at the next beach. You know, we do the coax, and he's looking at it, and he's like, oh, I don't like it, guys. I'm sorry, I don't like it. Meanwhile, all of us were like, well, if you don't like it, then let's not do it. Like, not a big problem. That's fine with me. Let's go ahead and head back. Like, the pilot's showing any concern. I don't want to do it. Like, I don't like it, guys. I'm so sorry. Okay, if you don't like it, I don't like it. Let's move on. Safety first. It was a crazy summer. A lot of me flying, seeing some really cool things, and experiencing a lot of really just strange things for me to comprehend, flying in such small planes, landing on water, landing on the beach. It's very hard for me to comprehend. It was still really neat. Even though a lot of time I was sitting on the plane with my eyes closed, just breathing, wishing that we were there, wishing we were back, wishing we were back. That was my flying experiences in the plane. I did get to do something super cool this summer and get to ride in a helicopter. Small, 4-person helicopter, but they had gear in one side, so it's technically only a 3-person helicopter. And I got to ride in it 3 or 4 times. First time I was a little nervous about flying in it, since I knew I wasn't liking the plane too much. I was kind of worried about the helicopter. Every day that I rode on the helicopter, it was a beautiful, clear day. It was really nice out, so not too bad. I don't think I would like riding in the helicopter if it was a bad day. I don't think I would like that. But it was clear and perfect, and we get in and we buckle up and put the helmet on, and the helicopter just takes off. And it's literally like riding in a roller coaster. It was so strange to me just how easily that thing maneuvered around. My very last trip was to Switchback Bay, and I got to ride on the helicopter, working with the Changing Tides project. They were removing the collars. There was at the end of the study period for that year. It was my job to go out and document. It was very, very neat to get in the helicopter and just to take off. And he's like flying along the cliff edges and just going like right over the treetops. Like, how do you know where your feet are at? Like, I kept like wanting to lift my feet up because it looked like he was gonna run into the treetops. Just kind of blew my mind. It was such a surreal experience, and it was so beautiful out. The flight was great, and the movement was great, and so much fun. We landed on top of the cone for Kaguyak Crater, which just was like, it was so cool. We were flying, and like I heard on the radio, and the guy was like, "Yeah, you can probably land right on top. It looks clear." And I was like, "Are we gonna do it? Are we gonna do it? We're gonna land on the dome." I got really excited. It was really cool, guys. And it was just, I don't know how I have been so blessed in these experiences. It was really hard, you know, definitely outside my comfort zone, making myself do it because I know I'll enjoy it and it'll be really cool. So I have quite a bit of footage from that last trip in the helicopters. And I really want to share it with you guys. So if you want to stick around for a little bit longer, you can watch some of this helicopter footage that I have. It's probably going to be a little bit choppy. It's just some clips that I have that were really neat. Thank you guys for joining me. Let me know in the comments. Do you like flying? Do you have any tricks or tips on how to maybe make flying a little bit more enjoyable for myself? Who knows, I might be doing it more in the future, and I could definitely use some help. Have you guys ever ridden in a small bush plane or a helicopter? Let me know about your experience. But thank you guys for joining in. I hope you like the videos.